actually know what's going on here.
I literally have no idea. Help.
We're 20 whatever.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
And welcome back to 20 Whatever.
Woohoo.
Back again.
Before we get into today's episode, I wanted to give the friendly reminder that us hotties are still trying to hit our mark of 100 subscribers on YouTube.
100,000?
100.
We did it, you guys.
Yay!
100 subscribers. We hit the milestone.
Well, honestly, we wouldn't have been able to do it without you.
It's
So
true.
Thank you.
Thank you.
100,000.
There we go.
There it is.
Subscribers.
Off to a great start. No, keep it.
we should-
keep it.
No, I love it.
Keep it.
I love it. You know, it's good to set attainable goals.
You're right. And maybe even set goals that we've already surpassed.
I love that.
And I think that's great for our self-esteem and our egos. So good for you.
All
Good,
right,
thank you.
bitches.
Before we even get into anything today, I just want you to know that Paloma and I have been LA hotties. Like we've been doing like the most
Yes.
LA things ever.
I've been seeing the vlogs. I've been, of course, first one to see the Instagram stories.
Of course.
You guys are like living life right now. You are in your LA girly eras.
We
Your
really
LA
are.
influencer eras.
It kind of
Honestly,
feels like that.
yeah, since the beginning of 2023, I feel like we've just been like,
Well,
Go,
it like
go,
creeped
go, go.
up. Like we were like,
Mhm.
oh, you know, we need to do more stuff. Like we need to go out and do more things. And then literally all of a sudden it was like, okay, well, here's everything in the span of a week.
I know.
Like basically like 2 weeks, right?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm like, we should start recapping. Like,
Yeah,
where
give
do,
us the
where do
rundown.
we even begin?
I think I have to begin where we went to the Clippers game.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
That was my first time ever being
Yeah,
at
same.
you too?
Yeah, I think that was everybody. Was that everybody's first time? Oh no, Ryan's gone.
Mm-hmm.
We went with the Ryans and some other friends, and that was the first time that Paloma and I had been to an NBA game, and it was iconic.
And we were in the box.
Yeah,
which,
we were
by
in the
way,
box,
We
yeah.
can't believe like we scored those tickets. They were honestly
They were not
they were not
expensive.
bad at all. Like it wasn't the full like they had food and catered, but it was still the box office seat, which
Right.
honestly was giving luxury.
No, it was
baby.
giving luxury.
So we were
It
in the
was.
box office is honestly acting a fool.
Yeah, we
so
were.
fun.
We were. That was really fun. And then something happened the next day.
The next day, I went to the famous LA Catch
Oh, yeah.
LA, like the
Yes,
Catch
yes.
LA, which I've always seen on the movies and like the Instagram.
Literally
like,
everybody
all
on
the influencers.
Instagram.
It's kind of like Air One, you know. If you live in LA and you're an influencer, you have
Right,
to
like,
have
oh, I got
gone
an Air One, yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I felt like I got my influencer patch, like going
Oh
to
my
Catch
gosh.
LA.
Like a Girl Scout
Yeah,
patch?
And then you got to go to Saddle Ranch.
Yes.
yeah.
There's
Totally.
there's like a whole like Girl Scout patchwork of like LA locations for influencers.
Please tell Sierra where you were like trying to get your pictures and then you like look over and it's just like
Okay,
every-
so of course, when you enter Catch LA, there's like this beautiful corridor entrance, and it's just flowers and lights, and it's set up for the selfies. So you see when I was taking my picture, and then I just looked to my right, and there's just girls having the boyfriends, having the sisters, having the friends. Everyone's taking any corner they can of this little hallway to get a selfie. Yep, just like that. But the lighting is low, so then you have friends trying to use the flashlight, which guess what? We had to do that. I was like, I'm sorry, Ryan, we got to retake it. Let's do it again. Because low light, but we got the shot.
You got the shot.
I got the shot. And
Let's put the shot on screen here.
honestly, please
because
put
it's
it on.
such a shot.
we got
It
the
is.
shot. And it was so good. I honestly, I was surprised because I was just personally, I'm giving you the tea. I really was just going for like vibes. I'm like, okay, let's go to the Catch LA. I'm not
Yeah.
expecting the food to be that good because, you know, it's
Like honestly, the problem sometimes with LA restaurants is like it was really just for aesthetics and vibes and the food's like mid.
Right.
But you said the food was good.
the food was super duper good. And that tower of donuts,
oh no, that dude.
caramel, chocolate, white frosting, like just it was just so fantastic. And then we went out after that to
Oh,
a
yeah.
5-story bar called Clifton's in downtown.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Which you need to go to.
I've
We need
never
to
heard of
go.
this.
It's huge. And there's like a huge tree in the middle of like the building and it goes up through the stories. Like you can see it's iconic.
Oh, I love that.
We were there and we literally said, we looked at each other and we're like, we need to bring Sierra.
Sierra. Yeah, literally.
that.
Yeah,
So when you're
that
in
was
LA,
lit.
we
Yeah.
yes. I mean, honestly, even take her to Catch. Honestly,
I think we should do like an entire like LA weekend where we just do like simply everything.
Aren't we in like 2 weeks? I'm coming up, remember? And we're
Oh
saying
my
That's
gosh,
right.
it is coming up so soon.
we have the sponsorship that we're filming together.
Right.
And then we have that meeting with Nick. And then we
Right.
have like an open day. So you guys should just take me on like a whole.
Can we make reservations to catch LA?
Like,
yes, no, I need to make an
influencer
itinerary.
day.
Oh my gosh, but what if we took her to Perch? There's this
Oh my
amazing brunch spot.
God.
Okay, stop. Okay.
Okay,
I'm
no
so
tea.
excited. We'll plan.
Okay,
We'll
tea.
plan.
We will plan.
Oh
we will
my
plan.
gosh.
Yeah. So that was that day. Oh my gosh. And then the next day, so my Riayn, works in music, does the whole thing, and he's like, we need to go to this birthday party. There's gonna be celebrities there, so like, good luck to you. And I was like, okay. We show up. I'm like nervous as all hell. It's a 90s theme, so we like went thrifting that day, which was stressful as hell. But I got the outfit. It's on Instagram. Go check it out. And it was giving. Like I was like, okay, at least I look good. Like I might be a bumbling idiot, but at least she's giving. I show up. There's people everywhere, like DJs going. We're in Hollywood Hills too, so it's giving like bougie. All of a sudden, I look down, and I have to say, simply look down. There's Addison Rae right in front of my face. She's tiny. I don't know if you've ever seen her in real life.
I haven't.
She is so small, maybe like less than 5 feet. Like she's so small. I did have heels on. I am obviously like a little on the taller side, so maybe she's not that small, but like I was like, oh my God. And she was just looking up at me and she was smiling, and I was like, hey girl. Like, and then she walked by and I walked past, and it was like chill, but I was like, not Addison Rae, like being at this party right now. And like Billie Eilish was there.
Oh,
Daniel Caesar was
wow.
there. Like it was like a lot. And that was like the first party or event that I've ever been to, like in that close proximity with like celebrities.
Wow.
Very LA.
First of many,
First,
I think.
period. That was just my little taste.
Yeah.
But yeah, very LA.
Question: before you got like to the house, was there like some sort of security?
Oh,
Like, did you have
yeah.
to go through anything?
Yeah.
Did you have to sign an NDA? Do
I
you
did-
ever hear about that?
Yeah.
Like people in LA have parties and
Yes.
you sign an NDA at the door.
Yeah.
I didn't have to sign an NDA, but they put a sticker on my phone, on the back, like on the camera, so I couldn't take any pictures.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, a sticker. I never heard of that. I
Yeah.
mean, that's smart.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the reality is if they say leave your phone at the door, people are going to keep their
People are
going to
keep their phones. Yeah. And like, there wasn't, I assumed it was going to be like, really like, that made me nervous. I was like, why don't they want us to take pictures? Like, I obviously like, yeah, privacy, but like, what's going to happen here that you don't want people to see? Like, I'm stressed a little bit. It was nothing, literally nothing happened. There were like strippers and stuff, and I was like, yes. I also never seen strippers before in real life, like in front of my face like that. And I was like, wow. Like, I was like,
The strippers were stripping.
the strippers were stripping, and I was like, this is really cool. Like, you guys are really giving. Like, round of applause. But yeah, so they put the sticker. So I was vlogging that whole time, but I didn't get any vlog footage because I was like, sorry guys. Ryan and I got really drunk and we forgot that I had stickers. So we like went to the bathroom to try to take pictures in the mirror. Blurry. So there's a picture in like the carousel that I posted, and it's like so blurry because there's a sticker on my phone. But we like forgot. We were like posing the house down.
Aww.
That's
Blurry.
so cute.
Blurry photos, just drunk, stupid in the bathroom. So
There's nothing like being drunk and stupid in a bathroom, though.
it's like the best.
It is.
Why though?
I always see people posting that. Do you know that selfie of Zac Efron on set where he's like
Yes,
got that like
yes,
smile
yes,
with the glazed over eyes, and it's like me in the bathroom after like 3 drinks?
Yes,
Yes.
Or like I've seen the ones where they're like me in the bathroom after I've like thrown up my entire life, and then I'm going back to rally, and it's like
Yeah.
that's basically what we were doing.
But the girls' bathroom is honestly its own space. Like
It's an
really,
event
like really
outside
going
of the
in
event.
Every time you go in there, you leave with a new friend.
You do, or you leave with like a lip gloss, or you leave with like some items, or a
Or
friend.
tips.
or tips. Yeah.
They're always trying to give you like life lessons.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't cry about that stupid man. Like it doesn't. And you're like, you're right, girl. Follow me on
Okay,
Instagram.
Right?
Follow me,
Dude.
That is so real.
Have you ever like met someone in a situation like that and then followed them on Instagram fully drunk, and then like months later you're like,
Who is this?
okay, who is this?
Yes.
Can I unfollow them? Like we shared this moment
Right.
in the bathroom,
Right.
but like
is it personal if I unfollow you?
Right.
But also, we don't know each other.
and we're never gonna see
and we're
each other
never
again.
gonna see each other.
I know, and I have had that moment where I've like looked at it and I'm like, Tina, we really had this moment.
I
Like,
know,
to unfollow,
but,
but like
like-
I'm never gonna see you again. I
And,
have
like-
to get rid of it. But just know that moment.
Like it
We'll always
meant
have
something.
parents.
Yes, it did.
Like that.
But now we can move on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, my exciting last one is
Oh my
me
God.
getting to go
Right.
To the Grammys party?
the Grammys gift
Oh
lounge.
my gosh.
This Grammys gift lounge. Oh my god.
Lounge.
I have to say it like that because like
No, right.
They made it seem like that. It was a surprise location, so you couldn't post about it, couldn't do anything because it had all these celebs coming that were nominated at the Grammys or performers or anything like that. So they were very, very serious about like that kind of stuff. So I went to the event. It was a good time. They were giving away just a bunch of free stuff to a bunch of rich people, and they were just posing for the brands and all that good stuff. And there was just a lot of awesome people. And then all of a sudden, I see this girl walk in the room. And my heart starts fluttering and I'm like, holy shit, is that her? Is that her? And I'm like, oh my God, it is her. I see Marnie from Halloweentown walk into the freaking room.
Shut up.
I'm shitting myself. That's like, as Halloweena, like my queen is
No,
right there. You know,
right.
like I'm so my hands, and I'm like, holy shit, that's like the Marnie. I'm like, oh my god. All of a sudden, her husband pokes out, and it's Cal. Yes, because they just got married, so they were together. So Cal and Marnie were at this place, and I was like, I don't care about anybody else. I just need to get a picture with these people. So I was there, watching them, and I hunted them down, and I got the pic, you guys. I got to meet.
Please insert the pic.
Oh my gosh.
Inserting the pic.
Did you not post the pic? I haven't seen it.
I'm not posting it just yet because I wanted to. I'm going to promote
with the vlog and everything.
With the vlog to
Smart girl. Smart girl.
I learned from the best. I'm like, holy shit. So I got the picture. I went up to them and I was like, it's so nice to meet you. I'm a huge fan. This is a movie that I watch every single year. And she's like, that's so sweet. And I'm like, I feel so corny saying the line to you, but every year I'm like, Halloween is cool. So I said the line to the actress and I'm so embarrassed.
It's a little cringe, but
it's so cringe saying the line to the actress, but I didn't care because I feel like I'm never gonna ever meet Marty. And I was like, and congratulations on the wedding as a Halloweentown fan. Hearing that you guys got together is so amazing. Congratulations. They're like, thank you so much. And they were so sweet. And Cal even was like, thank you guys. Thank you so much for coming up. And I kind of feel like he thought I was just trying to get a picture with her. But I was like, no, you guys.
Yeah.
I want both of you.
Yeah.
So they were so sweet. And they were like, thank you so much for telling us. That is so sweet and everything. So now I love that movie even more. And I love them.
You should put Halloweentown fan in your bio. You know how people list wife, mother, entrepreneur, Halloweentown fan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually.
And I've met the queen.
Yes.
So and honestly, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, she showed me the picture and she looks exactly the same. She looks just like she looked when she was a little girl.
I see her on TikTok sometimes.
She looks the same.
Yeah.
They look the absolute same.
Yeah, he does too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Total twins.
Yeah. Who else did you see?
Oh my God.
I was freaking out about this one.
So I didn't ask for a picture with her because I was honestly a little scared, but I saw Abby Lee Miller.
Shut up! You saw Abby Lee Miller?
Yes. She was prancing around with this cute little gay boy, getting her gifts. And so she was just going around and he was collecting all the stuff for her. And she was just
it was giving very Abby Lee.
It was very, she was just in her scooter. And then he was holding all her stuff and just hey, and grabbing stuff and everything. And I was just oh my God, that's Abby Lee Miller. And I was watching her talk, but I was just way too intimidated to ask her.
It's Abby.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So we have talked about doing dress as your biggest fear party. And I would dress as Abby Lee Miller.
Right.
I am Can you imagine?
No.
Abby Lee Miller
Mm-hmm.
reading you? I think I would just evaporate.
For sure.
I would just
Pass away.
Yeah, pass away.
Well, that's why my sister watches Dance Moms now. So I've been watching it while she's watching. And I'm like, this is really intense. Me right now, if this woman were screaming at me, I would be not well. And I'm like, how are you 5? And just getting screamed at by this woman. I don't understand.
That's why I loved JoJo Siwa so much on Dance Moms because she didn't take that shit.
Yeah.
There was that one scene where Abby's screaming at her and then
Yes.
JoJo starts crying, but she's quiet. She's not making a big deal about it. There's just a tear and she's like, save your tears
Just
for your
don't
pillow. Don't
cry.
cry. And JoJo just goes, well, if you're yelling at me, I'm going to cry.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
And then
that,
Abby's like, get out.
Yeah.
She's like,
and that was the last time she was on the show.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I'm good for you.
Yeah.
Love that for her.
I know.
But she was a baby. She was a kid,
She
an
was
actual
so
kid when that was happening.
little.
So crazy.
And so many of those girls on Dance Moms have come out and talked about how genuinely damaging that was for them.
Yeah.
Outside of the show, outside of the fame, on a
Right.
personal level.
Of course.
That how awful that is. And it's we had to know that watching the show.
Yeah.
Watching
I
these girls
guess.
get screamed out like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
But then I think a part of us was kind of well, how real is it? Like, maybe this is really just for the bit,
Exactly.
but also, is it like they're still kids? I don't know. Yeah, it's conflicting for sure, I feel like.
Yeah.
And also, Maddie and Mackenzie, I think, like, Maddie.
The Maddie face.
The Maddie face. They don't even acknowledge.
Yeah.
They don't even talk about at all. JoJo will be like, let me give credit where credit is due. Like, I wouldn't be here without Abby or Dance Moms or any of that. But like Maddie and Mackenzie, they don't even talk about it because they're traumatized.
There was one interview where she just mentioned something, my dance teacher really hurt my self-esteem and wouldn't even say her name. Just my dance teacher.
That's crazy.
Yeah, well, I saw her.
That's why Paul was that's why I didn't
Paul
go through
was
it.
and now I'm leaving.
Yeah.
As I saw her, I was like, I'm prepared to get screamed at. I don't she had no reason, but I was like, she's gonna.
Right.
So I really just kept my distance, but I was just watching her
Can you imagine? She's like, Paloma, straighten those shoulders. Plie.
Paul was like, I am seeing.
5, 6, 7, 8.
No,
We're
literally.
all in this together.
Sharp arms.
Oh my God.
No, that was crazy. But so yeah. I like the person that she was with he was just giving a little bit of sass. Yeah,
right.
He was giving who Abby Lee Miller should have on her shoulder.
Right.
Just very much like that.
Right,
And I loved
right.
it. And I was just cute. I love it. So those were the very, very big ones. Other than that, it was a lot of older talent, I think, that I didn't know as much. They were oh, from this film and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, cool. But me, I was just there for Halloweentown.
Right. And you didn't even know. What a fun surprise.
Yeah.
I know.
You didn't even know that was the tea.
I know. Ugh,
I
I
love
would have
that.
had the DVD on me. I could have had her sign it.
Scream, not you having
Can you
the
imagine?
DVD.
You're just like, I keep this on me at all times in case I
Right.
run into you.
That'd been crazy, girl. I can't lie.
But imagine that.
Yeah, that might have been a lot.
I think Marnie and Cal would have been leaving.
Yeah.
Should have been all
"Oh,
right,
I
well."
gotta go. So nice meeting fans.
So
Yeah, so
it was a great
that's
time.
our LA shenanigans we've been getting up to.
I love
What about you, Sierra? What have you been up to?
I am in my Disney mom era.
Period.
I've gone to Disneyland probably at least twice a month the past couple months.
Love that.
Grace and I are just having the best time. She's in a couple classes right now too, so we're kind of busy and we're doing lots of little play dates and stuff. And she's just this age right now in this stage, she's just so chill and so fun and so interactive with the world and a lot lower maintenance than it was this time last year.
Mhm.
This time last year, leaving the house was okay, I got to bring formula. I got to bring the bottle warmer. I got to bring this. I got to bring that. She naps every 3 hours. How are we going to do this? Now I'm just throw some diapers in a bag and let's go.
Yeah.
And she just is so down.
Yeah.
She really is.
She's like her mom. She's like, yeah, let's go. Let's have a good time.
Yeah.
We were at Disneyland yesterday with my whole family. We do a family Disneyland trip once a year, and that was yesterday. And we were there for 15 hours, and she didn't have any tantrums or any just any of those moments where you're oh man,
Yeah, we might be
leaving.
yeah.
Right.
She just was along for the ride, and
I love that.
I'm just really, really trying to soak in this era where it's just me and her. I get to be with her 3 days a week, and then I'm working the other 2, and then weekends with Steven and everything. I feel I'm this is a really good time in motherhood for me. And motherhood has not always been just that really good, easy time, I'm sure for everyone. And for me, in this stage, I feel I'm really settling into it. So I'm having a lot of fun.
I love that.
Aw, I know, seeing all that content, Grace with Winnie the Pooh.
No, I can't even. We probably watch.
I'm is Sierra
over and
crying
over.
as she edits this?
Like,
or,
I'm
'cause
crying.
Yeah.
Literally.
It was so sweet, especially because Grace is a little shy with adults, especially. She's a little shy. She's a little reserved. And so to see her, and usually she wants to experience things like that, but she's looking back to make sure I'm there.
Right.
She wants to do it, but she wants me to hold her while she does it, you know?
Right.
So to see her just take Winnie the Pooh's hand and walk, and she never looked back and was where's my
Right,
mom?
right.
Pick me up. She just wanted to go, and then she was giving him hugs and showing him her little Pooh Bear and got him to sign her autograph book. And
I love that they took that time, because I mean sometimes they don't have the time or they
Yeah.
can or they don't want to or whatever. But that was so sweet for them to walk together. And,
Yes.
oh, And also the way she was just like holding the Winnie the Pooh also in the hand. I
I
was like,
know.
this is just
Disney magic.
gold.
Yeah.
Literally.
Disney magic.
Literally.
And a lot of people have opinions about bringing young kids to Disneyland because they won't remember it and yada yada yada. But I am just so grateful for those experiences because she may or may not remember it. Like I have some memories from around when I was like 1.5, 2. So like she might,
Mhm.
but she probably won't. But I will.
Right.
And even if she doesn't remember it in that moment, that was so special for her.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was so real for her and so happy. And I think that's kind of the missing piece of the puzzle too. When people talk about like, oh, your kid won't remember this. It's like, but they still enjoyed the experience in the moment.
Right. They still have experiences as we are all having them.
Yes. So
Yeah.
even if you don't remember it, like we don't remember every detail of our day-to-day lives, but like those are still valuable experiences in the moment.
Right.
Right. And that magic that she felt with Pooh Bear, I know will definitely stay inside her. And being at Disneyland, she'll be like, oh my God, like the
Right.
feels,
Yeah.
So that's why we remember when we go back to Disneyland. Like, I don't remember all of them, but I'm sure the magic has been stored up. And I'm like, that's
Right.
why every time I go back, I'm like, I want to come back. I'm usually happy here.
You
Right,
remember the
right.
feeling,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
if you don't remember the specifics.
Yeah.
Well, even if like you guys go to Disneyland in a handful of weeks from now and she sees Pooh Bear again, I'm sure she'll be like, well,
My God.
well, I remember something went down here. And then, but like, then it could be like that every time, which is kind of how you remember things.
Yeah.
She'll just every time be like, oh yeah, remember that one time with Pooh Bear?
Yeah.
And she'll get older and older and it'll be more like of a distant memory. But like that feeling, I think will just like simply always be there.
Yeah, and it's crazy too living where we do in San Diego. Like we're in proximity to so many amazing activities for kids, especially like we have Disneyland, we have the beach, we have the
Right.
mountains, we have the desert, we have Legoland, we have the zoo, like the world famous San Diego Zoo is like right here.
Right.
And so I'm like, not only do we live in this place with all these amazing things and I get to, be a stay-at-home mom 3 days a week, but also like we have this amazing weather. Everywhere else in the world right now is like just starting to get warm. Like they've
Yeah.
been in hibernation and I'm like, we can be in t-shirts every day.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to be very like I'm trying to make use of that, like take advantage of it,
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
thinking about that too. I was just on FaceTime with my friend yesterday and she lives in New York and she was like, it was like 10 degrees yesterday. And I was like, can't relate. And I'm
Oof.
sorry for you. Like, I don't miss that. I see the value in it and I get it and I feel it and I feel for you, but I don't miss it. I said, oh my God, it's 60. It's so cold.
Right?
I'm like, I'm chilly. Need a
For her.
sweater.
Is the New York girly turning into an LA girly a little
Well,
bit?
she's always been a California girl. She was raised here, so she knows her roots. But yeah, I definitely don't miss the cold, like at all.
Yeah.
Simply at all. No.
I feel like we get so used to it here though.
Oh my God,
And
yeah.
so I feel like for most of my life, this was just
This is what was.
this is what life is.
Right.
Yeah.
And honestly, being a creator online has like really made me appreciate it more because every time I post with the activities that we're doing in the winter,
Yeah.
there are so many comments and DMs of like cries in Canadian, like, oh my God, I wish I could. It's -10. And I'm like,
Right.
Sierra, you need to be grateful
Yeah.
for
yeah.
this. All right. So what we want to talk about, as if we haven't been podcasting for 20 minutes.
Right. Right.
But the actual topic at hand that we have picked for today is we want to share some sleepover stories.
Do you guys remember your first sleepover that ever happened?
My first sleepover, I want to say, was a backyard camp out with my neighbors. So I grew up with a little group of 6 of us. It was 3 sets of siblings. I think I've talked about this before. But we're all still friends now. But I think my first sleepover was probably one of the parents would set up the tent in their backyard.
Mm.
We would all have a big sleepover. We'd bring our Game Boys and we'd all we had the transfer cable so we could battle each other and stuff.
Right.
Oh.
So I'm pretty sure that was probably my first sleepover.
Yeah.
But very different than the girly frozen bra,
Right.
let's go
I know what to
run in the backyard.
Yeah,
and-
when do you think, how old were we when that kind of started? Like, when did the freezing the bras and those kind of slumber parties
Well,
with
I guess
bigger
when we
bigger-
started wearing
Wearing
bras.
bras.
Oh, right.
Because I was going to say, I remember doing sleepovers in elementary school. They were really low key and it was incredibly low key because we were under the age of 10. So it wasn't anything crazy. But I remember then in middle school when the bras were starting to show up
Mm-hmm.
and it was getting really, I don't want to say cliquey, but you found your crew of girls.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because even in elementary school, we still kind of were doing whatever, hanging out with everybody. The class was your group
Yeah,
of
you maybe had
friends.
like one closest friend within
Yeah.
the class, but it was still
It was like we're all here together, and like everybody in your grade kind of just like did the thing. But in middle school, that's when you like started forming like groups.
Yeah.
And I think that's when like the sleepover shenanigans started happening.
I think for me that started like the end of 5th grade.
Mm,
Because up until 4th grade in elementary school, I went to this elementary school with all of my neighborhood friends. So I was very much like played kickball at lunch, like very, very tomboy. But in 5th grade, we moved and I went to a new school. And the only person I knew at this new school was my friend Corey, who was in my wedding. Like, we're still friends today.
love that.
But she was like super girly girl. And she had a group of girlfriends who were all super girly girl. So when I transferred to that new school in 5th grade, it was like, all right, guess
Girly
this is
girl.
what we're doing now.
Yeah, my girly girl era.
Yeah. Right. I used to have like you guys where it's like very low key. I feel like I only had like one friend or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's like
was
one
never-
friend
it
that
was
I would
never,
have
like, a big
sleepovers
thing.
with. Yeah.
But then it was my birthday and I said, Mom, I want to have a birthday
Oh,
slumber party. And we were
right.
still in elementary. So we had to invite all the girls, even girls that I was like not as close with, but we are like, okay, we have to invite the whole class. kind of
Right.
vibe.
Yeah.
So we had 14 girls at my
Oh my
house.
God.
I remember
How old were you?
I was in 3rd or 4th grade. Like
what
they
a
were
vibe.
like it was
But also how cracked
Oh
that
my
14
gosh.
like 8-year-olds.
I'll tell you how cracked it was. In true Paloma form, I was like, we're gonna sing karaoke. Like that's totally what we're gonna do. Like
Right.
the night before I prepared my song, I was like rehearsing the whole
Right.
thing.
No, right.
Make a moe. But totally, absolutely was my karaoke
right,
song.
right.
Okay, so we start playing karaoke. Someone's feelings get hurt. Someone said I'm not good. Oh, there's not a good song I can sing. I
Right.
suck or she this. Crying. There was crying that started happening. And,
Right.
or then we
Oh,
wanted to
no.
start playing that game where like you'd all take turns like making concoctions that whatever you find in the fridge and make someone eat it. Oh, well, Pamela,
God.
that's really gross and she doesn't want and so then my dad was like, I still remember at the end of the sleepover, he was like, Paloma, I love you and I know it was your birthday and I'm glad you had a good time, but there was way too much crying. Next sleepover, there's gonna have to be a limit at like 5. because
Yes.
we can't do that again. That was just mayhem. And so all night there was a different girls crying.
Mm.
Or like someone had
Yeah.
to go home. Or it's
Okay,
just,
I
it
was
too
literally
much.
about to
Too
be like,
much.
there was always a girl that like was super down, and then it was time to go to bed, and she'd be like, I can't, I have to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
home. Like I'm not well, but they're like waking up my mom to be like,
Yeah.
hey,
Can you call my
so-"
mom?
My mom's like,
Yeah.
yes. They're like, what do you say?
Yeah, of
like you got
course.
to, but
Yeah.
also
Right.
it's like, damn.
I know.
Like you really could have just held on there. for
I
just a moment. And like you're
know.
okay. Like I get it, and like it's okay, but
I know.
I made it at pretty much every sleepover, but I do remember one where it was like a girl's house I didn't know that well,
Mm.
and I felt kind of like ostracized and like on the outside of the group. And I must have been in like 4th or 5th grade. It was a lot younger, I think. And I remember like going to ask the mom to call my mom and have my mom pick me up and being so scared. And then my mom coming to get me, and I thought she was going to be mad at me, but she was
Right.
just so like comforting. And I was like, and then she brought me back in the morning so I could have breakfast with everyone.
Oh, that's so
I thought that was
sweet.
so sweet.
that's so
no, that is
sweet.
super duper sweet. And that happened at the party. And moms, if you do that, if your kid and you bring them back, that is honestly like
No,
the
that's
sweetest
sweet.
thing. That is
Yeah.
Because they already probably are like, I don't want to leave, but like I feel like I need to leave, but like I'm
Aw.
missing out, like it's giving FOMO and like
Sierra, was it
Yeah.
you at my slumber party? No, I'm just kidding. I mean, there was
you
a girl.
made me eat ketchup mixed with spinach, and I hate spinach.
I'm screaming. Imagine what if
Okay, but we're talking about all these sleepover things. What to you are like the pinnacle slumber party things that you do? The frozen bra, the making some weird food concoction. We did that.
Skinny dipping.
Oh my gosh, skinny dipping.
Oh, the 3-way call where you call to be like, hey, so like I actually hate Martha. Like she really sucks. Like, what do you think about her? And then that happened to me.
No,
That
a
happened
three-way
to
call?
me. That happened to me. They called. They were already there at the party. Like I was on my way to the party that they were all at, but they had just called like to talk or whatever
Yeah.
that day. And they were like, oh, hey, Riayn, blah, blah, blah. Like so excited. And I'm like, yeah, so excited. And they're like, but like we have to tell you that like, I don't even know, like Sarah's not coming, or Sarah's like going to be late, but like she's like really not giving. Like they were just like talking shit
Yeah.
and baiting me to talk shit.
Mm.
And I was like, that. They were telling me things. I was like, that's really crazy. Like, why is she acting like that? Like, da 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 da. Like, that's a lot. And then Sarah was like, hi, Riayn. And I was like,
They baited you.
Yes.
See that we never had
Yeah,
the
that
three-way
happened a
call
lot.
thing. That's awful.
Yeah, it happened a lot.
I didn't do the 3-way call, but
We
the
did
star
prank
69
calling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star
Oh
69.
yeah, prank calling
Oh my
for
God,
sure. But
that's-
yeah, dude, they
That's
just
brutal.
It's like it
Yeah.
was. I remember that was the first time it happened, and I was like, I will never ever talk shit about anybody on the phone ever because
That's like Mean
They're
Girls.
listening.
You know, when you're
Yes.
like, okay, and then
No,
like,
that is-
I had just survived my first 3-way call.
Sa-
Like, yeah.
literally it happened to me in middle school.
That's awful.
It
That
was
sounds
it was
terrible.
crazy.
And in
yeah.
middle school, I'm sure that feels like truly the end of your world.
Yes, because like also like on your way to a party where like all of these people, the people that you were on the phone with and the girl that they were all talking shit about,
Yeah.
and she was there probably like,
Yeah.
and I was like,
That is so ugly. I hate
know.
that.
I hate that.
Yeah.
That hurts me so much.
yeah, it was
Oh,
tragic.
I don't like
I'm
that.
glad. I do remember though not saying like actually anything crazy and
You
like
were just
not.
kind of agreeable.
Yeah,
You were
yeah.
like, what?
I was like, thank God, because I could have been like, yeah, actually she's a bitch because last time, like I could have.
You're like, good riddance.
I know. I'm like glad she's not going to be there. And what if I would have said that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they probably wanted you to
Yes,
say.
they did.
Another thing that like kind of like a 3-way calling, but it was back when like the internet started becoming like a thing for us, and we'd get on like those uvu calls, like we'd
Oh, yes.
we'd have the whole slumber party, and we'd turn off our camera and like click
Mhm.
through people.
What's
I don't know why.
what's the other
Omegle.
Omegle.
We did Omegle.
Yeah.
Which now
Yes.
looking back, I'm like,
Not
dude, we saw some
safe.
weird stuff
Oh,
on
yeah,
there
just-
Weird stuff.
at a way too young age.
Yeah.
Agreed, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mhm,
And we
mhm.
didn't even know. I remember being like, I definitely know that I don't know like what I'm actually doing or like what we're doing.
Yeah.
But like this is just what we do.
Yeah.
Right.
The first
Yeah.
time it was like my friend that had the computer room, because like
Yes.
it wasn't like we all had this, you
Right,
know?
right,
Not have
right.
everyone have a phone. Like someone had to have a computer room, and I remember
Right.
she's like, I have the camera set up, so she's like, but we can turn it off, but we can let them know we have camera, so then they'll turn on their camera. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And she's like, yeah, just random people. And just a
That
bunch
is
of-
like crack.
yeah, and, then
Yeah.
and remember, you just like select random people, and then sometimes people would be like naked, and we'd be like, "Oh my god!" We just we
Yes.
would literally just see a dick and close the
Yeah, no,
laptop. That was
literally.
it. That was
Literally.
it. We'd just see the dick and close
Yep,
the door.
yep,
we
yep,
weren't doing
yep.
anything.
Yep. Or like sometimes it would be other girls
Uh-huh.
on the, like all having a sleepover too. So you'd be like, oh my god, like blah blah. Or boys, like cute
Boys.
boys.
Yeah.
I think that's what we were really looking for.
Of course.
Was a group of boys having a sleepover.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you guys ever have that where like you're having the sleepover at a girl's house and then like the guy friends are at the guy's house and you guys are doing the
Yeah.
conference call and all of that?
Mhm,
I
mhm.
only did that when there was like events happening. So if it was like a game or like a dance
Homecoming,
or
yeah.
something, yeah, but not like outside of that. That didn't happen for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Did you guys ever sneak out on these slumber parties?
I a little bit.
Okay.
But I will say our sneaking out I think was pretty harmless. I didn't really sneak out in high school. Like in high school we were kind of over that. I didn't really go to a lot of parties in high school, but in middle school we would sneak out, I think, and early high school like freshman year just to like be out. Like we wouldn't
Right.
go anywhere.
Right.
We wanted to like sneak out, and like one of my friends lived on a golf course and we wanted to like run around the golf course. Did you guys ever do ice blocking?
Yes.
No,
Oh
what
my
is
god,
that?
I'm so glad you did.
Yes.
What is that?
Okay. So you go to like Safeway or something that sells blocks of ice.
Okay.
You buy a block of ice, you get a towel. You go to the golf course, put the towel on the block of ice, you get to the top of the hill at the golf course, you sit on the ice block and you slide down the hill. It's like a sled.
I've never even heard of that.
So it sounds like we need to go ice blocking.
Yes.
It's so fun.
It's super.
It
duper
sounds
fun.
like fun.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no, I never heard of that.
yeah. So that we would do that kind of stuff. Or even honestly just like walk around the neighborhood.
Would it be like in the middle of the night?
Yes.
It's just to be outside. There's something about walking around at night that's a vibe. It feels so.
Oh, and it feels like you're like pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though you're like not
doing
actually doing
You're not
anything.
doing anything.
What's the temperature on TPing? How do you guys feel about TPing?
Well, I think.
I think it's kind of funny.
So, can I tell a little story? Just,
Yes,
just
please.
to tell you why I'm trying to find my grounds on it. So growing up, TPing was a big thing, obviously. And so one year that I had a sleepover, I took the girls and we went TPing to some girl's house that was nearby my house. And honestly, we TP'd her house because it was the closest house and we could walk to it. There was nothing there's nothing
Right.
personal. And that's usually the thing. It's just for fun. It's not really like malicious.
Yes.
So there we were, TPing, whatever. Next day comes and it's like she's upset. Like it's a very like angry type of thing. And I remember it just started it like snowballed into like TPing my house. But then all of a sudden they were starting to put like forks in the grass to like mess with the grass. And they were then leading to like put shit, like they would like collect dog shit and like put it on our doorstep and like ring the doorbell and be like, ha ha ha. Or like putting mustard on a piece of ham and like putting it on the car so when you peel it off, the paint comes off.
Yeah.
Things like that. Like they were starting to damage my stuff. And so my mom's was like, you guys aren't allowed to teepee. Like it's clearly starting some sort of like feud and it's not just ha 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 no more.
Right.
So I think that's where it's sticky with teepeeing because the person that gets teepeed, I feel like never is like, haha, that's so cool. So there's always like that chance of like drama starting, and that kind of did happen with me, and it ended up being like a sick cycle of like being, and then from teeping it like switched to egging, you know, and like
I was literally about to ask about egging.
I feel like it's not teepeeing that's the problem. It's like A, the motive,
Right.
and B, like what's going next. My mom took me and my friends teepeeing, and she was fine with it. But she had 3 rules. Number 1, we don't teepee anyone we don't like. Teepeeing is not bullying. We're
Right.
teepeeing our friends.
Right.
Number 2, they're going to retaliate and you have to clean it up.
Yep.
Right.
So she's like, you guys can go teepeeing if you're teepeeing your friend's house, if it's like a fun thing. But when they come back and they teepee you, it's not going to be me out there.
Right.
And then the 3rd rule was no food, no damage, no ringing the doorbell, none of that. So she's like, you guys can go and do this and have fun, but like, boundaries. So we did a lot of teepeeing. And it was specifically when I was talking about like the 2 houses sleepover. My house was like the girls' house sleepover, like most of the time. My friend Jack, his house was the guys' house sleepover, and we lived really close to each other. So for like most of middle school, literally every weekend we were teepeeing each other's house. Like just back and forth,
you guys
back and
catch
forth.
each other in like black outfits with like the TP rolls.
Right,
You're like,
right,
hey, what you doing here?
Yeah.
So in 8th grade, I go to sign his yearbook, and he's written a contract that says, we are leaving this in middle school. I will not teepee your house, and you will not teepee my house. We can teepee the other kids' houses, but this ends here. Sign on the dotted line.
That is hilarious.
Seems legit.
In your yearbook?
In his yearbook.
Oh,
like
in
when,
his
when he
yearbook.
was like, oh, sign my yearbook on this dotted line, please.
That's so funny. I hope Jack is in business currently.
Right?
I hope that he's
So I thought and that's how most of our teepeeing was, and it was funny. Another thing that we did to this guy Jack's house, we called it reindeer patrolling. Did you guys? I think we made this up, but if anyone else did this, let me know. You know how in the holidays people have like the reindeer on their front lawn?
Oh, yeah. Like the wired
Yes,
ones?
the wired reindeer, exactly. We would assemble them into sex positions.
Oh, I'm dead. Right, of course.
So we did this to Jack's house one night, and it was one of those things where we snuck out. We just walked over to his house and put his reindeer in that. And then the next day, we went on a walk because we wanted to see their reaction. So we're like hiding in the bushes. We see his dad come out. He walks out and he's like, ha, hey, Liz, you got to come see this. Like to Jack's mom, and she comes out and they're laughing and taking pictures. And so that's how most of our like shenanigans were. It was like guy versus girl. And like,
and everyone's fine. Parents are fine. We're all cool and chill.
Yeah, but there was a couple times where it crossed that line and people egged my house or, you know, put forks in the lawn. And my parents were very, I think actually that's what ended it. My parents were like, even though you guys aren't doing that, like,
we're done.
We're done.
That's what happened with me as well. They were like, all right, Paloma. Well, and I wasn't even doing it anymore. My parents were like, Paloma. And I was like, I swear I have not TP'd the house in so long.
Right.
But, you know, and I also was one of the houses that was like nearby the school. So
just easy target.
It was I was such an, that's why I was like, oh, these 3 houses of like we knew like the 4 kids that like live by the school. So it just happened. But, you know, damn kids.
I didn't have experiences where I lived near the school. Like, so I don't have like, which always sucked for me because I'd want to like go to a friend's house or like do a thing, but it was like for sure, but like we live over here, so like it's not just like an after school thing. Like then we have to like wait for you to hang out and be done so we can drive home because we don't live here, and it's like a whole thing. So I never got to experience that. But also, what's it like? My house has never been TP'd.
We should TP her house.
You should TP my parents' house.
It's my house.
We should TP my parents' house.
That would be funny.
We were talking about going TPing. So when we were talking about doing this episode, we were like, we should do a sleepover after. So Paloma and Riayn are sleeping over tonight. We're like, we should do some of those old sleepover traditions, like playing light as a feather, stiff as a board, like freezing our bras. Maybe we should go TPing.
We should go TP my parents' house.
Your parents' house.
I think we should talk about it.
And they can't be mad, right?
No, absolutely not. This is
what are
just
they gonna
all
do?
good vibes.
Ground me? They could.
They could.
So what's it like getting your your house TP? Like, what's the cleanup process? Like, is it actually crazy? Like, is it like, what is it like?
As long as they don't do anything other than TPing, it's easy to clean up and it's fine and it doesn't do any damage. Sometimes people would try to make the TP worse by spraying it down with a hose. That happened to me a couple times. And then it gets stuck in the trees. Other than that, you just pull it down.
Yeah.
On that
okay.
note, my dad had one more rule than your mom, which was you were not allowed to throw the teepee over the house because it meant someone had to climb onto the roof and there's any
Right.
condensation at night.
No.
It had to be
Over the roof.
grabbable.
So you went TPing as well.
Oh, yeah. My dad would take me and my friends all the time. One time we white Christmas this guy's car. He got a car for Christmas. And we knew he was going to immediately see it because we like called him to let him know so it didn't sit overnight and ruin his paint.
Yeah.
Right.
But Christmas Eve we went and snuck. And they were all home too. It was like,
Yeah.
Oh, you
so
guys
were,
had to be like
stealth.
quiet. Oh, I
and
love
one of
that.
us is under the car throwing the roll and the other one's at the top.
That is so funny. Wow. So you guys like covered the whole car in toilet paper.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
I love that.
That's iconic.
I think I need to like break my TP cherry. I've never even TP'd.
I
I've
think
never
we should.
TP'd. I've
Okay,
never
we
seen
have
it. Like
to. We
I've
have to
never
go
done
to-
it.
If you've
It's-
never gone.
There's nothing like, God, now I'm just going to want to go TPing tonight. When you unroll the roll just a little bit and throw it really hard over a tree and it just perfectly lobs over and then falls to the ground, you're like, yeah.
And it's like the hype of like getting together, you know, because like sometimes like we'll be like, okay, everyone wear black, and then like sometimes we'll even put like
the eye
the
black.
like it's
Yes.
like it's super fake, you know?
Right,
We're
no,
just,
yeah, like the
doing-
movies,
Yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
One person's like
Yeah.
rolling across
Yes.
the things. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it's all a part of the act because
Right.
you know. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
That's so funny. Well,
Have I told you guys the story of when my mom and I caught my friends TPing my house?
no.
So my friends were having a sleepover and they called and they invited me. It was like a group of 5 or 6 girls. And I was like, oh, Mom, can I go sleepover? She's like, no, you have an early soccer game tomorrow. I had like an 8 a.m. game.
Mhm.
Now, 2 of the girls on our team were also at that sleepover, but their parents were just more chill about it than my mom, I guess. So I'm like a little bitter that I don't get to go to this sleepover. They're like, we're going to go TP and we can pick you up. You can just come TP and then we'll drop you off.
Aw.
My mom said no. She said, you have to go to sleep. And I'm all butthurt, whatever. And then they text me and they say, oh, just so you know, we decided not to go TPing. And I go and show it to my mom. And my mom's like, they're going to come and TP us. And I'm like, I know. And she's like, okay, I still want you to go to sleep, but I'm going to hang out in the living room with, you know, the window is out to the front yard. And if they come, I will wake you up and we can blow up water balloons and put them in the side yard. So before I went to bed, we blew up all these water balloons, put them like right by the front in a bucket. I go to sleep for my soccer game. My mom comes in at 1 a.m. like all giggly. Sierra, come on, they're here. So we go out the backyard to the side. We get the water balloons. We're tiptoeing out. My mom sees, because my mom was our soccer coach. So 2 of the girls on the team are, you know, at the sleepover.
Well, that's why she wasn't chill.
Exactly.
bro.
Yeah.
So my mom walks up and she sees my friend Taylor, who's on the team, and she goes, Taylor! And she turns around trying to pretend it's not her. My mom's like, I'd recognize that run anywhere. She starts running, and we're throwing water balloons, and they're running to the car.
Oh my
And
god, I'm screaming.
it was so fun and goofy, and then we made them clean it up. So that was
Oh,
fun.
I love that.
I recognize that run anywhere.
That's so
I
funny.
love that.
That's
is
so funny for your mom to be like, you still, I still said what I said.
Yep.
However,
Let's do some water
let's
balloons.
do some shit. Let's get
I
into
like
it.
that.
I do
love it.
love that.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's so memorable too.
Okay. A little older, we did talk about sneaking out.
Yes.
I feel like a little scan, like a little scandy
Like when we
sneak
were
out.
older,
Like when
sneaking
we
out,
were
like
older and
actually
we-
sneaking out
and
to
like
do something.
doing something. Yeah.
I got a couple of those.
I got a couple of those too. Do you?
I don't
I know-
really. Yeah, not really.
It's stressful. Like I don't like, yeah, it's like haha funny now, but I remember in those moments being like really like, if this doesn't work out, like thinking about like all the ways I could get in trouble, thinking about like if something goes wrong and me having to like explain myself, or like if God forbid the cops are called or something, and then having to deal with that. Like I was like, so all of that made it like not fun until we like got to where we needed to be, and I was like, okay, shots. Like, you know?
As you said that, a memory unlocked, and honestly, stop me if I've told this story before. And this sounds so like, how could that even happen? But I do remember one time in high school being at a party, and the cops had showed up, and we were in like the garage. So they were like, shh, 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 be quiet. Like, be quiet. We'll shut the lights. Because there's no,
Right.
you know. So they were like, the cops are here. The cops are here. I remember hiding in this little garage. They cut the lights. people were like getting rid of stuff because the cops were like going to show up. So like bottles of alcohol if they were underage,
Right.
weed, shit like that, whatever. Someone threw weed into the air, and I swear it landed in my hand. It was so. It sounds like so.
It sounds like a movie.
It sounds like a movie. I'm like, holy shit. I'm looking at my friend Alexis. I'm like, oh my god, the cops are gonna come. Like my mom's gonna kill me. Like she was like, it's fine. All of a sudden, weed lands in my hand, and we look at each other and shit. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, my fingerprints are on this. Like I'm young.
Oh my god, no, right.
I'm like, oh my god, my fingerprints are on this. And I'm like, what do I do? I'm like, what do I? And she's like,
Oh my God.
And I'm like, I can't hold on. So like, I like literally throw it back into the air. Don't know what happened, but that moment of like,
Are
having,
these like is it bags
It was-
of weed? Are they like
it was a
nugs?
bag.
Like straight
Yeah,
up
no, no,
nugs?
yeah. It was like a bag of weed in a Ziploc, and it was just like nugs in it, and they just
God.
like somebody must have just literally was like, see ya, and it landed in my hand, and I'm like,
First of all, you're like, dream come true. And then you're
But
like,
also, this is
but
my
also,
worst
no,
nightmare.
my fingerprints.
yes. I was like, and like I totally did not smoke. Like in this moment,
Right.
I was so like, I mean, I was like, do not do drugs at all.
Oh, right,
So
right.
I had like not even like known what the smell
Right.
of marijuana smelled like.
Right.
So the fact that it was in my hands and how
Oh
I to
my
explain
God.
that. So
Right.
that was honestly a pretty scary one. And then I remember the cops were actually did end up leaving. I do remember
Because it was like chill or whatever.
yeah,
Wow.
they somehow shushed us and hid us somehow, and then like the older brother opened the door and was like, "Oh, we're so sorry. We'll keep the noise down. Like, you want to come in the backyard? We don't have any. It's like not that much." So the cops ended up going into like the house and the backyard, but not the garage where we all were.
Dude, that's impressive.
I am honestly
And stressful as I probably would have been in tears.
Oh, yeah.
Like that is so scary.
because there have been parties where the cops do
The cops
stop,
do
and I
come, yeah.
have been there, and they'll literally be like, "None of you look over age or over of age. Start walking," you know. And they'll stop some of you and be like, "Hey, let me see your ID," and I'm, we're all running around.
Yep.
And shit like
Right.
Oh my God, the scramble.
The
When
scramble.
I think I was only ever at like one or two parties that got rolled.
yeah,
But
me,
the
yeah, me too.
scramble, there was one where like people were saying that it was like a big house party. This girl's parents were out of town. And people were saying that it was going to get rolled and that the cops were going to come.
Mhm.
Now, what actually happened is the girl whose house it was got overwhelmed that so many people came and that her parents were going to find out. And she called our youth group leader from church, not the cops. She called our youth group leader. Now, as someone who was in that youth group, that was honestly scarier than the cops.
Okay, T.
I'm
I
like,
feel that. I feel that.
oh my God. So the cops are going to come. We're like, okay, we got to run. And then they're like, no, it's Kelsey, our youth group leader. And I'm like, I'm jumping that fence. I
Right,
was
like, I'm
not
leaving.
here.
Yeah.
We are running. That was
Right.
like worst case scenario.
You
No,
called who?
right.
Our youth group leader.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
Right.
Call
just
the
call the cops.
Literally. I feel like I also was only at a few parties that got rolled, but I always got word of it before the cops actually came. And I remember going to school, like, whether that's the next day or like, after the weekend, and people being like, yeah, the cops were there. We saw the cops. I was like, why?
Why would you
is anyone else
say?
still there? But like, if you're like fucked up, or like,
Or you don't
or,
believe it.
or you don't believe. Yeah. Cause some
Which is
some
fair.
people
It's
lie
so-
and they're
yeah.
like, the cops are coming. And they're like, the cops aren't coming. Like, relax. But I'm like so stressed that like, you mentioned cops, like we're gone.
Yes.
Right.
Like simply, I remember this one time. I might have shared this just like you. Like, so please stop me. I had this. I went to this party, not even with like my closest friends. It was like friend adjacent. What are those called? Acquaintances. I'm like, what are those one friends? I had met them, I think, through another party, but like they were like partiers. So like we would have each other's numbers. So they were like, oh, they would text me like, oh, there's this party, there's this party. There's this one party that I really wanted to go to because of some boy, always. And I remember like going there and it being like really crazy, but also none of my like close friends were there because I met up with these other girls that I didn't really know. And that was a mistake. Number one, don't do that. Don't go to parties without friends. That's crazy. And they were just like doing their thing, whatever. They said the cops were coming, and I was like, I gotta bounce, but I didn't have any friends there. And so I was like trying to figure out, because this was not the plan, right? The cops weren't supposed to come. My ride was coming at this time, not this time. So I was stressed. And I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And this guy was like, this guy that we had all been hanging out with was cool, like wasn't giving like scary vibes, but he was like, I'll give you a ride. Like, this is where I'm going. And I was like, I'm literally going that same direction. Like, please help. But I couldn't go home to my parents' house because I was litty. And I was like, where to go? My friend, my best friend at the time lived around there. And I knew that her back door was going to be open. And I was like, this is where I'm going to go. And I couldn't, and I had a phone and I texted her, but like, it was like 2 a.m. Like she was not awake. Like it was not. And so I was like, yeah, just drop me off here. It's fine. I literally snuck into her house, like army crawled through the living room to get to her room. I literally opened the door. I shut the door and I was like, I woke her up and I was like, hey, she's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I was at a party. Like, I have nowhere to go. I'm just going to sleep on the floor. She's like, okay, whatever. Slept on the floor, whatever. The next morning she was like, so what the fuck? And I was like, dude, it was crazy. And then like, but I knew she was going to be chill with it. And I knew how to get into her house.
It's the fact that the back door was on, like, it was so easy to get into this girl's house.
Oh yeah, no, always. That's when we would sneak out, it was easy. Like that's how we did it. So I was like, I just know that this is how
we can
it's
do
gonna.
This.
Yeah,
right.
And what she's gonna tell me to leave? No, she's not.
Right.
She's gonna be like, hey, girl.
Right.
And that's what she did.
That's a good friend.
That's so iconic.
Great
honestly.
friend. Yeah.
Good for you.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to her. Because
Whatever you're doing.
What was I supposed to go home? I couldn't.
No.
I could. That wasn't an option.
Yeah.
And it was like, what, roam the streets all night? That wasn't an option.
No.
I'll sleep on the floor.
That is so resourceful. Good for you.
So that brings the question, what's harder, sneaking back in or sneaking out?
I feel like sneaking in.
Yeah.
That's hard because you don't know what anyone else is doing inside the house. Like somebody could have been up in the kitchen. Like that was risky as hell.
Yeah.
Somebody could have been in the bathroom. Somebody could have been in her. Like
yeah.
And locked doors. Like really just the
simply.
Loch-ness.
Yeah.
Not the Loch Ness. It's maybe the
Loch
Loch
Ness
And then
monster.
I know.
That's exactly where my brain went.
But honestly, it makes me think how hard it would be to get away with things now because of the ring. Like everybody has a ring. I
Yeah.
feel like if my parents, like I would not even be able to get away with.
No,
so much
there's
of
like
what I had.
like ding dong, like so many like noises whenever like we open doors at my parents'
Even
house.
if
I'm
you
like,
open a
there's no
window, I
way.
feel
Yeah,
like you can censor it to
there's-
it goes
yeah.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess impossible. How? They'll figure it out. Like
Yeah,
kids are resourceful.
For
They
sure.
will figure it out.
Did you guys ever have a moment where you got caught, like either by your parents or someone else's parents at a sleepover?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got caught twice.
Okay.
And both of these were actually after high school,
Oh, wow. Okay.
but under 21.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of where the, like, the in between 19, 20 vibes. I was throwing a party and somebody's mom like came to drop off like our friend and we didn't know that she was like actually going to be at the door. So we were there like with shots, like ready to like party and like her mom was there and we were like,
Oh, no. It's mouthwash. I care about your daughter's dental hygiene.
Right. It was so awkward and
What-
like we just like we were just shocked. Like obviously,
Yeah.
well, there was nothing to say.
What did
like
her
it was
mom
very
say?
clear.
Yeah,
She
what did
was
her-
like, we're leaving. She's like, are there any parents here? And we were like, oh yeah, like they just went to go pick up the pizzas. Like, haha, there was no parents, but like, what do we say? Like, oh yeah, let's go get pizzas. And she was like, all right, well, so and so say goodbye and we'll be leaving. And I was like,
And imagine the embarrassment from the friend, like your
Dude, no,
mom taking you
she-
back. I'd be like,
she
no.
was like,
Red.
Mortified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course,
she was like
Pass
not
away.
okay. And but I remember after they left, like everybody was like, should we like leave? Like, should we? Because like
Is
we
she gonna
didn't
call
know
the
if she was gonna call
mom?
somebody or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if we didn't know like what the tea was. So we all just kind of like chilled for a little bit, and then like I guess like 10 minutes passed, and we were like, fuck it, like let's get it. And it ended up being fine, but that was stressful. And then the other time, actually, I just like came home like so wasted, like drunkard McGee. And I was probably like making so much noise. And my mom was like, girl, what is this? And I was like, I'm just so sleepy, Mom. Like I'm just tired. Like it's fine. And she left me alone. But the next morning she was like, that's not what we're doing here. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. She said my pants were around my ankles in the bathroom. I guess I had like passed out in the bathroom and like my
You can't come
ass
back
was
from
out.
that one.
No.
You can't be like, oh, Mom, I was just tired.
No.
No, you were ass out on the bathroom
Ass out
floor
on the bathroom
at
floor.
3 a.m. That
Yeah.
you were not just tired.
Yeah. And I was like, damn, yeah, no, that was my bad. I'm sorry.
Oh,
So, yeah.
I had one where, we had that friend that lived by the golf course, and then a new girl moved into the district and moved into that neighborhood and was at school, and we became friends with her. And she was like, well, I'm going to host a sleepover with you guys, like at my house. You guys can all, come over. So I didn't know her all that well, but, I didn't know her family, but I really liked her. She was awesome. Her name was Betsy. She was a really cool girl.
Betsy.
It's not like just such
So
a cool
cute.
name. So cute. So we're having
Betsy
this.
Johnson, that's why. I think
Ah.
Remember Betsy Johnson?
Yeah.
So we're having this fun sleepover. We're playing Truth or Dare. This is like 7th grade. someone dares, we have to go run around the golf course and like do cartwheels, like very harmless. So we sneak out of the house, sneak out. It was like not that late.
Right.
We're 7th grade. We're running around the golf course. Someone calls the cops, and the cops come to the golf course, and we start running back to the house, and they are chasing us, fully chasing us. We get back to the house. We shut the door. We lock the door, and and Betsy's mom is there, and I didn't know her family at all. So I'm thinking we're about to get in so much trouble.
Right.
She goes, "What's going on?" And Betsy just full on tells her, and I'm like, "Girl, what are you doing?"
Right.
Like, also like. That what a cool relationship.
No, right.
Mom, we were playing Truth or Dare. We went down to the golf course and we were just running around. We weren't doing anything wrong. Maybe we shouldn't have snuck out, but now the cops are chasing us. And she goes, "Let me handle this." And she opens the door, this woman, and she goes, "Hi, how can I help you?" He's like, "Oh, there were girls that were running away from us and they were vandalizing and doing all this stuff." And she goes, "Don't you have anything better to do? These are teenage girls at a sleepover and da-da-da-da, and it's not even past curfew and all this stuff."
Right.
And I'm just like,
Damn.
dude, Betsy, your mom's cool.
You're
Right.
standing behind her like,
Yeah,
Right. And don't you have anything better to do?
And don't come back. and it was like one of those moments where I was like, I thought we were about to get in so much trouble.
Right.
And she just
I
went to bat for
love
us
that.
because her daughter was like fully honest.
Yeah.
Right.
And that they had a relationship where she could do that. And I'm like, and then she closed the door and she goes, "Well, I'm sorry you guys had to deal with that. Like, why don't you guys like go upstairs and, watch a movie or play a game?" And I'm like, "Woo."
Right. Okay.
thanks.
Guess we will. Thank you. No, that's iconic because that mom could have been like, "The cops, really?" And like made it an issue.
Yeah.
But also like, why were they calling the cops?
Yeah.
It was probably like 9.
Yeah, no, it literally was
Probably
not
9
even.
PM.
I remember specifically because it wasn't past curfew, which I
Right.
think was like 10 o'clock.
Also, TBT to when curfew was like, if you were out past, we cannot be past that. But like, were things like what happened? Like I would be out past curfew, like nothing would be happening because we weren't actually doing anything. Would we be in McDonald's?
I don't know.
Like what?
I
But
know.
it was like such
it felt
a big
so
deal.
like illegal type of things.
Yeah,
Like, like you're
illegal.
like, I'm gonna get like pulled over by a police officer and he's gonna be like, "Where is your slip?" And I'm like,
Yeah,
that never happened,
exactly.
but I
Like
thought that.
driving, like we
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
get back. We need to get back home because we're like out past curfew, and
Feel.
it's like, who the fuck? Like, what?
Mhm.
Unless you're driving recklessly, like what cop is
Right.
pulling you over? Like people drive at all hours of the night.
Right.
Like, just it's fine. Delusion, but also good for us for like low key being a little bit scared.
I think a little bit of fear is good.
A little bit of fear because there were some kids that were like reckless, like did not, and I always knew I was like, those are, I can't hang out with y'all because you guys don't care and will do anything, and like you guys get hurt all the time, like
Mhm.
Yep.
y'all be mixing up with the people that I'm scared of. Like I'm like a little parties here and there, a little stinking out, a little drink, but like y'all be
Crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
Y'all be
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Did you ever get caught, P?
I don't think I ever got
Sneaky.
caught
I
know.
sneaking out, you guys. I never did. But now that we're chatting about it, it's making me think of the time I just got caught throwing a party at my grandparents' house.
Oh yes.
But it was when I was older and it was between high school and college. It was the summer between that one. And so like I remember getting in trouble. And so I got my phone taken away. And so when I showed up to college, everyone was like, "Oh, you're real, you still live." But it's because I really told them that my mother was going to kill me in the wrath that was because it was my grandparents' house and I was house sitting. And for some reason I thought it was a good idea. Don't ever throw a party at your grandparents' house because everyone on the block are old people and all they do is watch.
Right.
Oh, and they're just waiting for the opportunity
Oh,
to.
this is
were-
old people
Mhm.
out the window
Yeah.
all day.
So they were emailing my grandparents while they were
It's the
like,
email for
yeah,
me.
they were emailing. They were
Emailing.
like, "Your granddaughter is having these." They were sending license plates. They were sending photographs. They were saying, "We're seeing lots of cars inside of your house. This, that, and the fourth coming in and out." And they were trying to get footage and stuff, and they were sending it to them. It was
right.
crazy, and I've never been in so much trouble in my entire life. I'm a goody and I follow the rules and I never get caught when I don't. But that one time I was
Yeah, no, that I guess that was kind of stupid on your end.
so no. I'm so
Yeah.
mad at myself for
Yeah.
it. Like biggest regret, but it was the first time I ever had an empty house. And so I was
Right.
like, "Oh,
A party.
And it ended up someone told another person and it just ended up getting so
As it does.
as it does.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh shit." So
Yeah.
that really was a big one. And I'm honestly still embarrassed about that one. That one's like, ugh.
Yeah.
yeah.
Do they bring it up?
Oh yeah, they're like, yeah. I don't think that they ever let any other grandkid watch the dog ever again. They were like,
right.
if the one grandchild that we trusted was Paloma, and she could not.
Right.
Oh God, I'm so like saying it. I put dishonor on the family, dishonor on the cow.
Dishonor on the cow.
So
That
and they were
is
like,
so
nope,
funny.
looks like we're gonna have to kennel the dog for always. And I'm always like, oh God.
Damn.
And I remember my mom was like, and I remember your grandparents saying, and no parties, Paloma. And I remember saying, oh, she knows better than that, and you didn't. And I was like,
Also, yeah, for your parents to then be like,
my
Bruh.
parents
Oh
were
my
like, Paloma, you're so trustworthy.
Right.
And I was 16, but still a 16-year-old
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, that's my truth.
Listen, but you know what? It builds character, and we all have to just fuck up every now and then. So
Yeah.
that just was your moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've been perfect ever since, right?
Right?
Yes,
Right.
I've never done anything in my life.
Okay. This is a kind of a little spicy one.
Oh.
When did you have, if ever, did you have a sleepover and there were boys there?
Mm. Honestly, it might have been theater. Like it was like a cast type of thing, maybe.
I had that
think.
written down as one of my things to talk about is the
Yeah.
co-ed cast sleepovers.
Yeah.
I think that's how it snuck in because with my parents, it was always like no boys are
Mhm.
allowed. Like
Yeah.
that is absolutely not happening.
Yeah.
So I think it was that at the cast party.
Yeah, definitely theater was where that was happening.
That
And-
was the only boys my parents let sleep over.
Yeah.
The theater
Which
boys.
is-
And they didn't even care. They didn't even care. Like, it wasn't like, only if they're gay. It was just like,
Right.
they're theater boys. They're harmless regardless.
Which is crazy because the craziest
Your
shit
kids are the
I've
most
the craziest shit
sexed
I've
I was
ever
gonna
seen. I was gonna say like the craziest stuff happens with the theater people because I don't know what
I don't know what it is about the
why.
theater community,
We're
but
just
we're just so
open.
open.
it's open where we're
And-
sharing these emotional like vulnerable moments like on stage or whatever. I feel like it might just bleed into the
And if
Yeah.
you're doing Spring Awakening, all of a sudden we're just like touching each other, and all of a sudden I'm touching you.
Yeah.
Guys, guys, should we sing Purple Summer? Like, should we do it? Like, it was always that at the cast sleepover.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
Should we sing the song from the show?
Yeah.
right.
Should
Yeah.
Should we just slowly do the choreo? And you're like, all right, then.
Which was crazy now that I'm thinking about it is so funny. I was like, oh my God, boys. But the whole time, I very much like girls, like literally all of that time, but like had sleepovers. But it was just never like that. Like, I was like, these are my friends. Like, I'm not gonna,
Mhm.
like, that's not even, that never even crossed my mind. Unless it was. And I was like, well, I like this girl. So, but like, nobody was trying to. Which is crazy because then you think, then you can have sleepovers with people that you like. And
Right.
it doesn't matter
Mhm.
Right.
if you just, or people that you don't like. Like, you just, it's just people.
Yeah.
But you know, the parents, they don't know. They're
Right.
like, a boy? No. And I'm like, yeah, it's not. And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay.
One of my friends' parents was not as like involved, wasn't around as much, very much kind of like there's food in the fridge and leave.
Handle it, yeah.
And so we at that house would have like one or two guy friends stay over. And I remember the mom in that house who wasn't always there was like, oh, only these two are fine. Like we had two guy friends. No reason. It wasn't, like, oh, they're not going to date anyone or they're not going to do anything. It was just these two guys. Sure, they're fine.
Yeah.
So no one else could sleep over, but
Right.
just them.
They just kind of like vouch for them. I mean,
Yeah.
that kind of happens.
Sometimes that does happen, right?
it
You're
just
like, it's
happens,
just
yeah.
like whatever.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I always think about like if it was my house and I had kids, I'm like, am I gonna be like no boys or whatever? But then I'm like, my kids have to be actually stupid to think that like I'm not gonna know if y'all are
Right. And
canoodling.
it's
like,
also very like heteronormative
very,
because
very.
so let's say your daughter is bisexual or lesbian. Are you going to say no sleepovers at all?
right,
Right.
Like,
right.
or are you going to say that's fine? Like what I feel like it.
Where do you draw the line?
I
guess,
don't know.
yeah.
I don't have an answer.
Yeah.
No, I don't either.
I don't
I
know.
simply I don't know.
Well, Sierra, you have a daughter first, so you let us know.
Yeah, you
when
let us
get
know how
there
it
and
goes.
start to- what's the move?
Yeah, you tell us what, and then we'll just follow. But also, like for me and my friends, even when we got older, like that wasn't like we weren't like, oh yeah, we want to have sleepovers with the guys because we want to have sex. Like
No,
that never.
Yeah.
it was like a fun
happened.
bonding experience.
Yeah, and like maybe haha we'll kiss in the dark, like outside for a second.
While we're all playing spin the bottle or something.
Which,
it's
to be
not-
fair, we were doing even if the boys weren't there. So
Exactly.
like, what's the difference?
Right.
Exactly. But like, it was never like, oh my God, invite so-and-so over. So like,
We could,
we
do
could
something.
actually have like that.
No.
Like
Yeah,
that
no,
never. That
We're
was like
having a
not
sleepover.
happening.
Also, how weird.
That
if
is
If you had
weird.
all your girlfriends over and then invited a guy over to like have sex with at the sleepover, like, no, we're not doing
Literally.
that.
No,
That's
that,
not
like,
what we're doing here.
And that was never even like a thought. Like
No.
nobody even thought that was going to happen.
I'm really trying to think like the closest thing to that. And honestly, I really think it was when you started playing like 7 Minutes in Heaven. And that's when it could have been like any sort of dicey where you're like,
Right.
oh, let's get this guy that I know you think you
Yeah,
like. And
yeah.
let's get him over here so we can play that game. And
Right.
then you guys can be in the closet for like 20 seconds or whatever.
And the craziest thing that would happen is that you guys made out.
yeah,
Like
and
it
that
was literally, and maybe he'd be like, oh, maybe touch your boob, and then like
I said, you like my training bra?
Literally,
I froze it for you.
What was the thinking with the frozen bra? We froze our own bras.
Oh.
We would like put our bras in the freezer and then wear them to be like, oh, this makes our boobs bigger.
Oh, I didn't know about
I
that
didn't
trick.
know
Oh,
that
yeah. Oh,
either.
that was just us.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. I just did like the frozen. I remember like whoever lost, we would have to freeze her bra and make her wear it. But I didn't know that we were all
yeah, mine was
doing-
more
It was like a
on that
punishment.
vibe.
Yeah, it was a punishment.
But wouldn't icing your boobs bring down any swelling? Wouldn't that have the
Yeah.
opposite effect?
Yeah,
Right?
well,
All
we're
the-
12 and stupid. so, like,
Sierra and her sleepover, they're all like, "Are
Yeah.
you looking perky?" And
yeah, they're like, they're
freezing.
growing, they're bigger.
in our
Right?
in our A cups.
Right.
Well, and the
So
first
sweet.
time we did it, we didn't know that like we just put it in the freezer and then like an hour later, like it's not gonna freeze. There's no water on it. It was just cold.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I remember us being like, well, how do we get it to like freeze? Because you know, like in the movies, like in this, did you guys ever watch the movie Sleepover?
Yeah.
And they
Yes.
take the bra out of the freezer and it's like actually frozen.
Right.
Yes.
And some smart girl at the sleepover was like, you have to put water on it. So then we all got our bras wet, put them in the freezer, and then wore them. Why?
Women in STEM.
Women in STEM.
So I looked it up. Apparently, the origin is it's a punishment given to the girl who falls asleep first, so that in the morning their bra's frozen solid and they can't wear it.
Oh.
So you're never supposed to wear it.
Not for
Sierra's freezing her own bra, and she's like, okay,
Hey, well, we learned in the bra fitting video I've got triple D's, so maybe it worked.
maybe it did, maybe it did.
Which
screaming.
I don't even mean to dive into that thing, but oh my gosh, watching that video made me realize I am wearing the wrong bra size. I know it. Like it's
I
official.
wish I know you were on your romantic whirlwind vacation,
Yeah,
but
right.
we
Yeah,
miss you.
We did.
And we should go get a bra fitting with you.
We should.
'Cause it was honestly fun. Who would have
Yes.
thought it would be fun?
Yeah, it was fun, and obviously, like left there with like the most information. I was like, I'm actually mad that I didn't know this, and that most
Yes.
people don't know this.
That was the first thing she said to me. She's like, honestly, I'm mad I didn't know. And I like
So that's what Steven was saying. Steven goes, you know, watching this video was like crazy because like I didn't know any of this, but the most shocking thing was that you guys were never educated on this stuff. That like
Right.
most women, the vast majority of women don't know all these things about bras. And I was
Right.
like, that's so true.
Yeah.
yeah.
We're going with my family, like all the women in my family and in Bethany's family because
fun.
my little brother proposed
Oh yes!
to
he's
Jaden's
engaged!
sister Bethany.
God!
That's so cute.
And
we
she
love
wants
that.
to get a bra fitting before the wedding.
Of
So I was like,
course.
let's all go to Rumor.
Oh
After
my
she watched the video, she
God.
goes, we have to go. Like, I want to go. I want to get a good bra before my wedding.
Yep,
So.
I'm taking my mom.
Oh.
Yeah, she was like, I know I don't have this right bra size. I'm like, I already know, so let's send it. I was like, say less.
Yeah.
We'll link it
Yes.
because
Yeah.
it's iconic.
Yeah,
and it goes with the vibes.
Yeah, she came home saying, I'm life changed and you need to throw out your bra. And I was like, as fuck. And then, and then I watched the video and I was like, absolutely. Like,
yeah,
Right.
so much information. Wow,
Yeah.
I'm a changed woman just from watching it. So
yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah. So we're going with like me, my mom, Bethany, Jaden, and then Bethany and Jaden's mom.
Oh my
And
And then
crew.
my sister-in-law Megan as well. I think is gonna come. So
That's so
That's
fun.
going to be
Yeah.
so fun.
That's I think that was the most fun was like having like
yes.
the girl group and like vibing. That's like good.
This is important information. We need to tell all the women
I
far and
know,
wide because that is
seriously.
like a life-changing thing. Like,
Oh, for
just
sure.
like the fact that it can help like the shoulder and the pain and just like
Well, and how you
Things.
feel
Yeah.
also.
Yes,
like,
and how your clothes fit on you.
Yes.
how
and-
you feel.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, I will definitely not be freezing that bra.
Yeah,
Too
no,
nice.
yeah, no, none of that.
Absolutely.
Those were
No.
stunning bras, ladies.
Oh,
Oh,
thank
my
you.
God.
Well, wearing that pink one, I was like, I'm gonna buy some pink shirts because I look really pretty. in
And look
pink.
at you in
and
pink
I'm wearing
today.
pink.
Yes!
Black Barbie.
I love it.
Yeah. So
I love it. Stepping into pink.
stepping into pink.
love it.
Listen, I'm a fan.
It looks. You
fan.
should
You
be
look
because
great
I'm
in
a fan
pink.
of pink
I
on
also
you.
have pink socks on.
Oh,
Nice.
Oh, me too.
Aw.
Thanks. What socks do you have on? Oh,
Black.
black is beautiful. I love to see it.
Oh, ladies. So I guess we have to decide. Are we going to pop Ryan's T-Pink cherry tonight? We have to decide.
I think we should.
I think we should,
I think we
too.
should.
I think we should list a bunch of things that that are like sleepover essentials, and we should do them tonight.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, I love that.
Sleepover essentials.
Sleepover essentials.
Okay, you know what's another just like core sleepover memory that I thought of when you said that? Falling asleep and then waking up in the middle of the night to the DVD menu playing.
Yes.
Specifically of Mean Girls when it's like out of bed at the crack of noon and then it just loops that like 10 seconds.
The crack of noon. Yes.
That or the
Always.
Shrek DVD. I don't know
Pick
why.
me!
Yes.
Pick me!
Donkey's jumping, and I vividly could.
Yes.
Or George Lopez is playing.
Yes.
Dude.
Dude, all night. For sure.
It's 3 a.m. and you're like,
With
For
the slow
sure.
motion jumping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or like watching movies that are like super inappropriate also that like
Yeah.
we weren't supposed to be watching. Like any of the like Super Bad or like any of like those movies. I remember being like, oh, this is when I can watch it because I wasn't allowed
Yeah.
to watch movies like that like at all. And I was like, my only opportunity is at a sleepover because my parents can't say nothing.
Right.
They're like, oh, don't watch that. I'm like,
okay.
if I have to watch what they do, like I can't.
Yes.
It's not my house.
I personally did not want to watch Juno, but they
But
put
they
it on the
it
TV.
on. Kind of relevant to like we're not allowed to do this at our house, but like if I go somewhere else. I remember for like a short amount of time like wasn't allowed to have Bratz dolls.
Same.
And I think it was just because they were a little scandy and they had like so much makeup on and it was just giving like not a child.
Yeah.
And I was like very much like 8.
My mom also didn't like that they were called Bratz.
Also that. Also that. And you know, they were giving like attitude. It was just like not the vibe. And I remember wanting one so bad. And it was my birthday and my friends were like, oh, what do you want? And I was like, I want a Bratz doll. Like, I want a Bratz doll. And then I got it. And I remember being like, oh my God. And then looking at my mom being like, oh. And then it's so funny. It's so funny because I really thought I had it in the bag. Afterwards, everything got cleaned up and whatever. Everybody went home. And I was like, tragic about this Bratz doll thing. But like, God. And my mom was like, I know that you asked for that because the mom was like, oh yeah, we didn't know what to get her. And then Riayn said she wanted a Bratz doll. So we got her Bratz doll. And I was like, fuck. So I got caught anyway.
Did
but
she let you keep it?
She did.
Oh.
And then I got to play basketball. So like, it wasn't that deep. But yeah.
I used to be a huge Bratz doll fan. Like, I had a bag to carry all the girls in. Like,
Right.
I would open it up and be
Wow.
like, all right. I was obsessed. And then they, like, had those little animals with them. And, like,
Right.
I had every single girl.
No, I
They
mean,
changed my life.
they were so I mean, it was giving fashion.
Isn't that their tagline? The passion for
Passion
fashion.
for fashion, yes. So I loved them. And I was like, and they're big, beautiful lips. And it was just giving.
I don't think I ever got a Bratz doll because it was, yeah. I think by the time like my parents would have come around, I was kind of like
Over
done
it,
with
yeah.
dolls.
Yeah.
I had a lot of Polly Pockets.
Oh,
had a lot of
love
Polly Pockets.
Okay, I know we're not supposed to talk about it, but listen, chewing on their clothes.
Oh my
I know!
God.
I know.
What I wouldn't give just to feel that plastic.
The
but-
pants, the,
The
jeans.
purse, the little, like, that top, that little pink top
Yes,
she
the
had.
vest.
If you also did this, please comment the little dress emoji in the
Oh,
comments
Oh
below.
my God, please.
I like
And let
it.
us not feel alone in this.
And just imagine what it would feel like to chew on a Polly Pocket clothes just one more time.
Just one more time. One last time.
Just one time.
Honestly, and on that we might need to
Stop.
wrap this
Yeah.
up now. But we've done too much. We've exposed ourselves too much.
Well, I think that about does it for our sleepover stories episode. This was fun.
Very nostalgic.
Yeah. And now we've got to make some new sleepover memories
Yes.
tonight.
I mean, a quintessential sleepover, a quintessential essential for the sleepovers as an adult. I mean, it's got to give like a cocktail or some wine or something like that.
Yes.
Right,
necessary.
that is the difference.
But also, that was giving back then too. So what's to say things have changed?
Just less sneaking of it.
Yeah.
for old time's sake, when Steven walks in the room, should we
We'll
try to
just
like hide
it.
everything?
Yes.
Hi.
Hey, just go back upstairs,
Yeah,
Mom.
come on.
God.
Or pretend we're sleeping.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We obviously enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe. Remember,
Yes.
100K, baby. Or 100. Well, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.